Okay, episode 12. I got burned again. Burned by a woman. Burned by the beauty. Blinded. And deceived by beauty. You know what? I think deceived's probably a strong word because there was no deception. It was just complete. What was it? It wasn't deception. It was deception. It was deception, actually. Fucking bullshit, man. So, I got scammed on the internet. It might as well just be like one of those guys that, like, well, I don't know. There's tons of different scams on the internet. You don't need an example of an internet scam. They're all over the goddamn place. So, I get this message on Instagram from the real Sky Bree, which is that OnlyFans model that I'm like, in love with, that I've talked about on the podcast, that it's just a joke, but it's like halfway true. Like if she was into it, I would be into it, obviously. She's like, she's gorgeous. She's like, anyways. So I get a message on Instagram from this woman and it says, hey, and the first red flag, which now I'm thinking about it as I'm looking back on it, just like going over it in my mind. The first red flag is it's like one of those requests messages that you have to like select, like, yeah, it's okay. I want to take a look at this, which that should have been my first red flag, right? So anyways, I open it up. It's some woman. It's a private account. And it's like, hey, I'm the manager for Real Sky Bree. And she wants to get in touch with some of her fans and, get a little closer with some of her fans. And X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, damn, for real? And like, my ego, in the back of my head, I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is just like an excuse. Like Sky Bree actually wants to talk to me. Like she wants to hang out. Well, because like I saw a picture on her story on her Instagram. She's in Breckenridge. She's in Colorado. Right? So it's like coincidental. Okay, whatever. So she's in Breckenridge. I saw it on her stories. And then the next day I fucking get a message from her manager that says, from a person claiming to be her manager saying, Sky Bree's getting in touch with some of her fans. She wants to get in touch with you. Do you have a Telegram account? Here's what's your Telegram account? Here's hers. Don't show anybody your Telegram account, And I'm like, damn, like, this is like, I can't believe this is happening right now, Like, seriously, like, a divine, like, this woman is beautiful. She has, like, 2.6 million followers on Instagram, and she's just, like, a straight-up dime piece. And anyways, like, so we start talking. I start talking with somebody. And, so I'm like, okay, like, and then this is happening right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe this is actually happening right now. And it was one of those things where it's like, you just gotta go for it in this life, right? So I'm like, all right. In the back of my head, red flag number 2 is like, if it feels too good to be true, it generally is. You know what I mean? If it feels too good to be true, it generally is. And that's a tale as old as time. My father's told me that. People know that expression. You know what I mean? And so, whatever. But, against my fucking, and I do this all the time, go against my gut. I'm like, I just got to go for it, So I would start talking to her, and then she's like, all right, well, you got to get a membership. And I paid for her OnlyFans. So I'm paying the real Sky Bree. I paid her $5. I'm not subscribed anymore anyways. Sidebar. So she's like, all right, you gotta join this membership. It's going to cost $200. You get a membership card and then we can meet. And I'm like, meet? Damn. That's pretty rad. We'd be able to meet with Sky Bree. Like, that's rad. And I'm like, I saw the picture of her on a fucking snowboard lift. Like a video of her on a snowboard lift at Breckenridge. And I'm like, she's in Colorado. I'm talking to her. I talked to her manager. She wants to meet. Like, I can't believe this is happening. And so, okay, great. I'm like, 200? Like, you got to pay to play. And like, you got to put money down. Like, if you're trying to win, Yeah, you're in Vegas, you want to play some blackjack, like you're trying to win some money, you got to throw some money on the goddamn table. Like, you want to make money in this world, you need a little capital. I'm like, $200. I even asked one of my coworkers the other day. I was like, all right, and I showed him a picture of Sky, and I was like, all right, man, so you're hanging out with this girl, and everything's cool, and she basically just tells you, hey, like, we can have sex, but it's going to cost $200. Like, would you? Like, would you be down to? And I straight up asked him, and I showed him a picture of this girl. And he's like, yeah. He's like, yeah, absolutely. It's like, there's a threshold there's a lot of thresholds with hot girls that you have to take into account if you're a scientist like me. And I'm not even, all right, anyways. So the threshold is, how hot is she? Is it worth paying for sex? Because there's a threshold where it's like, yeah, she's super hot. She's hot enough to, like, I would pay for that. Like, she needs to get hers. I need to get mine. Like, it's worth it. Like, her body is worth it. Like, it's a little bit greasy, but it's like, whatever, man. Like, grease her up and let's do this. You know what I mean? So anyways, I'm like, okay, I pay. All right. And she's like, I want Bitcoin. And I'm like, Jesus. Okay. So then that's another red flag. I'm like, all right, yeah. So some untraceable money. Sweet. Like, yeah. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's a membership. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, like, okay, it's a membership. Maybe that's how she gets away with, like, guys paying her for sex. Like, it's not prostitution. It's just like a membership to the Sky Bree Club. And you pay $200 and, like, you can visit her and, like, whatever happens, happens. It's not like guaranteed sex, and I'm like putting all this shit together in my mind. Like, it's like, so I'm like, it's like all imaginary, it's crazy. And I'm like, whatever, man, I want to meet this girl. So, okay. And then the weird part was, and I'm trading imaginary money of U.S. currency, of little fucking ones and zeros in my bank account, my internet bank account. And I'm trading those numbers for even more imaginary ones and zeros in a Bitcoin wallet somewhere, somebody's prison wallet somewhere, corporate America prison wallet, and I'm trading them for what? A potential for one night with a super hot Instagram model that I may or may not be able to have sex with. $200. Yeah, I'm into it. Let's go for it. Fucking let's play. Let's play. Release the horses. Bets are on. It's on. You know what I mean? So it's on, is what I think. But then out of nowhere, her grammar really starts sucking. And we're texting back and forth, and her grammar, like, starts sucking. And I'm like, dude, this isn't even her. There's no way that whoever I'm talking with in this conversation, it was born in America. Just by the way that they're using English. You know what I mean? And I'm like, fuck. Like, I definitely just got fucked. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. But, like, I didn't get fucked, but I got fucked. And that happens to me all the time with women. But anyways. Yeah, so fucking, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, that's what happens when you go to the casino. Like, you walk into the casino with $200 in your pocket, and you're like, all right, I want to have some fun. I want to be entertained. And it's going to cost me $200 to do that. And, like, if I lose the money on slots, then I shouldn't, like, mortgage my house, go to the ATM and get, like, another 200 out. Like, no, like, 200 is what it costs to have fun, and that's what it costs. And if I win, great. That's like icing on the cake. If I win, awesome. Anything over 200 is just absolute win. You got to be prepared to lose that 200. And I was prepared to lose that 200 with this girl. Worth it. Worth the risk. So I was like, no, it's a loss, And then she's like, so then she texted me and she's like, okay, well, I need to send you a package with your membership card and a little surprise in the package for you. And it's going to cost $800. You got to pay the delivery guy $800 when he gets there because he's coming from California. And I'm like, whoa, no, not a chance. Like, not a chance in hell that I'm not giving you any more money. Like, I paid the 200. Like, I had a good time. Like, we had this back and forth banter. And then I started thinking, like, no, this is going to be a great podcast story. Like, well worth the $200. You know what I mean? Like, it sucks. It sucks. You know? And it's not like I'm swinging a sledgehammer anymore, building railroad track. You know, like, it's not like the 200. Like, I was twisting a wrench on a guitar to get the money. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's work and it is what it is, but it's just like, yeah, it's money that I should have used and should have fucking saved. You know what I mean? Should have fucking saved. Unreal. Yeah, I'm spending money that I don't have right now. That's really what the problem is. And so that's 200 down the drain. You know, crypto gone, whatever, awesome. And then all right, so then this is actually where it gets good because my thing is like I'm turning lemons into lemonades. That's another piece of advice that my dad gave me. He's like, yeah, man, in this world, it's generic. Fuck, it's a generic saying, but it's like really great advice. It's like the world gives you lemons, just squeeze that shit, wring that shit out, and make some lemonade, man. Sell that shit, you know, and undercut the guy on the corner. No, don't undercut the guy on the corner. I'm like, okay, here's my chance. I'm like, okay, screenshot all these messages between this fake Sky Brie and send them to the real Sky Brie on her OnlyFans account because I'm thinking to myself that's actually the actual Sky Brie on her OnlyFans account, and I've actually talked to her before because I went through her OnlyFans account. I fucking paid the price, paid the subscription fee, you know, talked to her, and whatever. It didn't work out. She said that she didn't want to listen to my podcast, so fuck her, you know. No, but seriously. So I'm like, that's got to be the real her, right? So I send the conversation that I had on Telegram with this anonymous wannabe Sky Brie, and I'm like, okay, so now I'll be talking to the real Sky Brie, and maybe she'll be tickled by this whole situation, and maybe I'll actually be able to take out the real Sky Brie, and maybe this had to happen in order for me to meet the real Sky Brie. This whole debacle, this $200 debacle, and the real Sky Brie is in Breckenridge. I've seen the footage. Like, she's in Colorado right now. Like, what are the chances of that? I fucking reached out to her on her OnlyFans page. I've been commenting on her Instagram, just like really trying to charm the hell out of her. You know, and I know everybody does that. I know I'm not the only guy to fucking do that, but I'm a real fucking charmer, man. Come on. I know you don't want to hear that. All right, here's another thing that's really pissing me off. We'll set Sky Brie aside because I am having a podcast with David and Jesse Jones, very talented rapper, tomorrow. So you know, I want to save some of this shit for the actual podcast we're doing tomorrow. But no, promotional shit and subscriber count, like shit. All right, so promotional shit I should care about, obviously, and like marketing and getting my podcast out there and like doing the best I can to represent it the best I can, obviously. But then subscriber count, like that's one of those things that's like you really shouldn't care about that, how many subscribers you have. Like you look at it occasionally just to kind of get a foundation to figure out like where you're at, but like it doesn't, I mean, it'll never be enough. You'll never think you have enough. You'll have 10 million and then you want 20 million and you're like, oh, well, Elon Musk has 14 million or 14 billion or whatever. You know what I mean? That's just the story. That's another tale as old as time. Plenty of tales in this world. A lot of tail to chase in this world. So anyways, yeah, we're going to see. I'm supposed to see her at 5 o'clock. I'm supposed to meet her at a hotel in Cherry Creek at 5 o'clock. So, and the really disgusting thing is, in the back of my mind, I know, I guess we're back to Sky Brie, whatever. I'm all over the place. I guess I have OCD or whatever. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? Oh yeah, I was talking about promotional shit. I want to finish that before I go back. Okay. I know I'm all over the place. Bear with me. Yeah. I've been promoting, you know, dropping my stickers all over town, in filthy bathrooms, in clubs, all over town, on street signs, in parks, handing them out, you know. And like my number will like my subscription count, my subscriber count will like it goes down a little bit, goes down a few, goes up a few, goes down a few, goes up a few, and I'm like, dude, I'm putting in some actual time promoting this thing, and it's not really going up. Like it's just kind of staying the same. where it is. And I'm thinking to myself, man, imagine where it would be imagine where it would be if I wasn't putting the work in. It would just be like drastically falling off a cliff, my subscriber count. Probably. If I wasn't like putting in the work and like grassroots, like handing out my shit to people and like posting them all around town, like, because you got to think that's bringing in a few people here and there. You know, talking to old friends about the podcast, you got to think like some of them are checking it out and subscribing. But I mean, a lot of people are just like, ooh, this is not for me. Unsubscribe, unfollow, peace the fuck out. Whatever. I'm not mad. Yeah. Really not. I'm really not mad at all. I just want to put out a little solo podcast because I am trying to experiment with the time, the length of the show. Because I know 3 hours is a really long show, but I want to go for it. 3 hours, it's possible. I know 3 hours is possible. A JRE is 3 hours, and that's the magic number. I need to let the people know that I'm absolutely capable of a 3 hour podcast. And, you know, I know that there's listener fatigue that takes place with 3 hours, but it's like, yeah. If you get fatigued, press pause. Go take a jog. Press play again on your jog. Or no, I mean, do whatever you want to do. Anyways, where am I going with this? Yeah, so I want to release like, you know, some hour-long shows or some 45-minute shows or whatever, and just see how the listeners interact to that. Try to get some listener feedback as well. Because, I mean, everybody loves when the guy on stage says, all right, sing along. Maybe everybody doesn't love it, but no, but it's like, hey, sing along, you know, and you hear the whole crowd starting to sing along, and it's like audience participation is fun. Don't you think? Audience participation? It takes it to another level. Everybody take your cell phones out. Put your cell phone flashlights in the air. Put your lighters in the air. And everybody does it, and you feel like you're in outer space, and you're like, ah, yeah, crowd participation. What a great artist. You really got everybody involved there. You know, so that's what I'm going to try to do with this podcast. So yeah, like, I mean, reach out on Spotify. Like, there's a Q&A section on Spotify. You know what I mean? Reach out. Just like reach out to me. And just open your hands wide and reach out. I mean, I'm thinking this is going to be a solo podcast, but you never know. Like last week, I thought it was going to be a solo podcast, and I ended up having like one of the best podcasts in my life with some guy who was lineage to the Charlie Daniels band. That's my recent claim to fame. I know it's like really indirect. It's really it's like I know a guy who knows a guy who is friends with David Letterman. You know, it's like cool, dude. No, it's like I know it's just the son of the guy who accompanied the guy, but it's still kind of cool. You know, you start small and you keep going. Oh, I got this new metaphor. Maybe it's an analogy. I always get the two confused. Which, you know, I should look into it before I just like talk about it on the internet. But anyways, so fame and fortune. Okay, it's like you're in a car. And when you're starting out, it's like you've got to get behind the wheel of the car, and you've got to drive in order to go forward, right? And you start out with like a really slow car, like a slow jalopy of a car, and you can barely get it going. You barely get it started, barely, you know. And you hear the engine turning over, it barely turns over, and you get started, and you're just barely. You can't even see the speedometer going up because it doesn't. First of all, it probably doesn't even work, and second of all, you're not going fast enough for it even to read. And you're like, man, I wish I was famous, and like I wish I could get to where I'm going to become famous, and like it's gonna take me forever in this piece of shit car that I'm in. You're like, man, I wish I was in a Ferrari. I wish I was in a Tesla. You know, I could just like haul ass there in style and just get there, you know, and be famous. Like that would be so cool, you know. But like the thing is, like that's not how it works. First of all, It's a really good thing that that's not how it works. And that's what I'm starting to realize. And maybe I'm just saying that because I'm not famous and I'm just trying to make myself feel better. But the thing is, like, dude, if I was in a Ferrari right now, I would just drive it full speed into a tree, probably. You know? Bam, dead. Right into a tree, wrapped around a tree. $250,000 gone. Life gone. Potential wasted. And, in real life, outside of this analogy slash metaphor, I would drive the fuck out of a Ferrari. I'm a driver. I'm an operator. If it moves, then I'm in it and it grooves. Anyway, sidebar. In this analogy, though, like, it's a good thing that I don't have the Ferrari. Like, it's a good thing that I'm, like, enjoying the scenery. You know what I mean? In the jalopy. And like I'm just kind of like slowly. Oh, there's a hill. I got a little back breeze going. Like it just, get out and push. And it's how it's supposed to be, man. It's natural. So I'm not mad, but I do have to go to work. I have to go to work, and that's fine. So 21 minutes and 40 seconds. That's going to be a little appetizer for tomorrow's episode. Fortune Radio, thanks for listening. You guys are beautiful. Reach out on the Q&A on Spotify or iTunes or YouTube, and we'll mention you on the podcast. Fuck yeah, much love. See you.